Hey, one thing I heard about, you've heard of the old traditional 30-year mortgage.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear the new product that is coming out soon?
Well, I'm thinking about signing up for
Making a little switch, huh?
for a 50-year mortgage.
Yeah, that's the new product is a 50-year mortgage.
Is that it's a real thing?
This is a real thing. I mean, they're trying to solve like the housing crisis, like the unaffordability of houses. And so might as well tack on another few $100,000 worth of interest.
Is there do we have a 50-year mortgage calculator?
I don't know. I don't know if you could. There's a lot of people posting on X like examples.
That's what I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, we got one. 50-year. So let's call a house price $400,000, 20% down.
How can you buy a house for $400,000, dude?
Okay, sorry. 500,000.
I don't know. No, probably 450 is
like 500,000 with 100. Well, if you're doing a 50-year mortgage, you're not putting 20% down. No way. We'll call it.
No, do 20% down. That's fine. Okay. We're not doing like FHA loan.
So 20% down. That's 400,000 principal. 50-year mortgage at what interest rate?
6.
You think we're getting them at 6? I'm just
saying.
We're doing no PMI. And then
because you put 20% down. This is good. This is great for this is educational actually.
We're gonna calculate property taxes. What do we think?
2%.
What? 400 a month? No. 350 a month. Let's call it that. Homeowners insurance. We'll call it 200 a month.
No, you really got to put it all in there. Huh?
It's making me do it all.
Yeah.
All right.
This was not planned, by the way.
So calculate.
They're gonna make you sign up for something, dude.
Wait, this doesn't make any sense. 2,151 all in payment. Does that sound right? That
sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right.
Total interest expense, $863,000 paid in interest.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's what I heard.
Show me the amortization schedule. I got to see what the first payment is. The first payment, $100 goes to principal.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Hey, here's what I did here, and yeah, I didn't do enough research to pull up. I think for the average homeowner, transitioning from a 30-year to a 50-year is going to save you something like around $300 a month. But it's going to cost you hundreds of thousands more over the extra 20 years in interest. And so here's what I would say. It is actually worth processing. Like, is there some type of is there a Christian thought to this? I think if you're Dave Ramsey, you're like, yeah, you don't get a mortgage ever. Never get a mortgage. Borrower is slave to the lender. And then there are other believers that are like, no, you can, if it's smart debt, and some would say the house is a smart debt, then you can take out a mortgage. But then it is like, I guess I've never thought about 50-year mortgages until this weekend when people were posting about it. Trump specifically was talking about it, doing the 50-year mortgage. If we're so, anti-50-year mortgage, then wouldn't we also be anti-30-year mortgage and say like the 15-year mortgage? And I know it's less popular, but there is a 20-year mortgage. But the 15 is pretty popular. Why wouldn't we say like, why would you ever do a 30-year? Why wouldn't you always do a 15-year?
Well, I think at some point that probably was the argument, right? When
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure that was the argument right when it came out.
Ellie, when did the 30-year mortgage come out?
I want to say the 70s. Might have been the 80s.
All right, let's see. 30-year mortgage, 1948.
I was way off. 48.
It took until the 1960s for the 30-year to adapt, though, probably because of the same reasons that we were talking about. There's no way you do that. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Back when you could buy a house for $30,000.
So financially irresponsible. Here's what I did find out, though, is, and I can't do the calculation right now, but that $300 a month, if you invested it into the S&P 500 for 50 years, is going to be in the millions of dollars. And so, there is something to think about. It's like, are you going to, basically, here's what I would say, just pastorally, if you are financially responsible and are going to invest the savings into like an ETF or S&P 500 or NASDAQ 100 or, whatever the funds are with financial advisor or however you're going to do it. There is a route that financially it's a better, the 50-year mortgage does have a potentially better benefit to you at retirement age in investing that.
I mean, there's a lot of assumptions in that.
No, I know. I know. But I have to be intellectually honest and say we until this conversation, we had no problem with somebody getting a 30-year mortgage.
Says you.
Yeah. Are you? Yeah. Okay.
We actually did a 20 for our first one, but I think from a scriptural standpoint, like we could talk. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Whatever, all those podcasts need that disclaimer, right?
Yeah. Is that what we need?
I think there's a principle here, and one of the reasons why I actually love Ramsey Solutions is they understand that most of finance is not math; it's behavior. And so that is something where I think that there are far too many people that try to do the math on things that they have no intention of or the unwillingness to be disciplined. For example, I think what the 50-year mortgage, what the 30-year mortgage also does, mortgages in general, what they do is essentially get you to live a lifestyle that you otherwise probably can't afford due to the level of wealth that you have. And so it's a way that we can live the quote unquote American dream in this home when really look at all the big buildings in all the big cities. It's all banks. Yeah. Why? Because they loan people money and these hundreds of thousands of dollars of interest. The real winners in the story here are the banks that we're paying all this interest to. So again, coming from a Christian perspective, we're a steward of our finances. And so if all of our money is going on interest that we're paying out instead of stewarding it, again, it's just it's a conversation I think we should be having that I think a lot of people don't. Again, I'm in that boat as well. We have a mortgage, and so I think that Mac and I, as we're talking about potentially, wanting to move or move campuses to say we have this house we love, but we want to live somewhere different, live closer. We're talking about what house do we buy in this market? That do we go smaller so that we can have more money margin, to give and margin so we can just steward our money better? Do we have a growing family? What does that look like? So again, these are challenges I think a lot of people are wrestling through, but I think what we should be very intentional about is, am I doing this because I want to live a lifestyle that I really can't afford, but I want to prove it to somebody else? Or is it genuinely where I know that the Lord wants me to be, and it's a way to manage my money in a little bit of a different way? I just find that whenever you start increasing over and over, it's like Afterpay. Is it sin to buying something for $50 and do 4 payments of $8 or $10 or whatever it is? I don't know if that's a sin, but is it wise? That's just kind of what I'm wrestling with.
It depends on what you're purchasing, to be honest. There's probably sinful things that you could be purchasing, but
right.
No. I don't think Afterpay is a sin. I do think it is unwise. So same as credit cards.
But why would Afterpay be if you're arguing potentially a 50-year mortgage wouldn't be?
Well, if the Afterpay is 0% interest for a certain amount of time, some of those are. It's like,
but I'm saying that's the behavior that I'm talking about. It's not the math. The math is like, oh, it's 0% interest, but there's a behavior component to I'm stretching things out longer, and eventually that behavior I think is going to catch up to you.
Yeah, but I also know. I won't use her name, but I know somebody that is CPA that's super financially responsible, and it's like, if it's 0% interest, I'm doing that every day of the week because it's a smaller chunk of, and I'm going to put my cash to work separately. And it's like, there are people wired in a way that are super smart, crazy, self-controlled, disciplined, that know what they're doing. So I mean, I think what you said is right, is like, what is your heart and motive? Are you doing this out of insecurity? Are you doing this out of keeping up with the Joneses? Are you doing this, are you going to invest or save or give to the kingdom? The margin that you had, like, I think there can be, like, what's the motive behind it?
Here's the way we should look at it, and it's the way that Scripture looks at it.
I like when you start a sentence that strong. That was nice.
Thank you. I'm glad that I'm making strong opinions here. This is God's money.
Yes.
He's given it to me. Everything I do with God's money, I will answer to God for. I do not think that God is going to be somebody that says, you took a vacation with your family. That was a terrible use of your money. I don't think he's going to say that. What I do think he's going to say is, you wasted it. You were flippant with it. You didn't care, or you took so much risk that you would risk all of that without having good decisions behind it. And then the other side, I think you'll say, you were generous with it. Mm-hmm. You were wise with it. Proverbs talks about a wise person will leave an inheritance for their children's children. Does that always mean finances? I don't necessarily think so, but I think there are principles to say there is wisdom in how you manage it. So again, it's both ways, but I think we have to realize it's not ours, it's God's.
Yep.
And so how I manage God's money, he's given us all different skills. He's given us all different understandings of finance and all these different things. But just because somebody says it's a good idea does not mean it's a good idea. I believe we should be prayerful with our decisions. We should talk to leaders. I just prayed with somebody last night. He said, I want to be blessed to be a blessing, but we need breakthrough in our finances. And I said, I hope that God reveals things to you in your finances that are out of order, but I also hope that he helps you to increase your income so that you can live blessed to be a blessing. It's both and. It can't just be an income thing, and it can't just be a spending thing. It's got to be both.
Yeah, it's true. Really true. So sign up for the 50-year mortgage I'm just kidding.